Hello, and a very warm welcome to Cognito Key. Today, we are going to explore the most incredible supersuit you'll ever own, because you're already wearing it. That's right, we're talking about your skin. It is our body's largest organ, and trust me, it's packed with some amazing powers we're about to uncover together.
So, to get us started, I have a quick question for you. Just take a second and think, what do you think is the single heaviest organ in your body? You know, a lot of people might say the brain or maybe the liver, but the real answer is actually quite surprising.
The answer is your skin. I know, right? On average, your skin makes up a whopping 15% of your total body weight. That makes it the undisputed heavyweight champion of all your organs.
All right, so let's start our journey from the outside and work our way in. We'll begin with the layer you see in the mirror every day, the epidermis. The best way to think of it is as your body's personal multi-layered shield. This is our first line of defense against, well, everything in the outside world.
Now, what's really fascinating about the epidermis is that it's constantly rebuilding itself. A brand new skin cell is born way down in the bottom layer, the stratum basale. Over the next 30 days or so, it begins this incredible journey upwards, moving through the layers, flattening out, producing tough proteins, and eventually reaching the very top. By the time it gets there, it's a dead cell that becomes part of that protective wall, and then it just sheds off. So you're literally getting a new outer layer of skin every single month.
But the epidermis isn't just made of one type of cell. Oh no, it's a whole team of specialists working together. First up, you've got the keratinocytes. They're the main builders, creating that tough, protective keratin protein. Then you have the melanocytes, who are kind of like the artists, producing the melanin pigment that gives our skin its beautiful, unique color. We also have Langerhans cells, who act as vigilant security guards, fighting off any germs. And finally, there are the Merkel cells, which are our sensors, allowing us to feel the world around us.
Okay, now let's dive a little deeper, past the shield, and we find the skin's busy headquarters, the dermis. If the epidermis is the outer wall, the dermis is the bustling city right behind it, where all the important action happens.
And this layer is thick. The dermis is an absolute powerhouse, making up about 90% of your skin's total thickness. It's just jam-packed with all the essential hardware, nerves, blood vessels, hair follicles, you name it.
Now, inside the dermis, you'll find these really clever structures called pilosebaceous units. Honestly, you can think of them like a multi-tool gadget for your skin. It's this single, all-in-one package that includes a hair follicle and all the little glands and muscles that go along with it.
So part of that little gadget is the sebaceous gland. This is your body's very own oil factory, and it produces a substance called sebum. Sebum is absolutely crucial for keeping your skin lubricated and moisturized. So whether your skin is oily or dry, you can thank, or maybe have a word with, these tiny glands. And have you ever wondered what actually causes goosebumps? Well, it's this. The erector pili is a tiny little muscle that's attached to each hair follicle. When you get cold or maybe a little scared, this muscle contracts and it pulls the hair upright, creating that familiar bumpy texture. It's a neat little reflex left over from our much hairier ancestors. And of course, we can't forget the sweat glands. These are our body's brilliant, built-in air conditioning system. When we get too hot, these glands release sweat, which then evaporates from our skin and cools us down. It's a perfect, simple example of what we call thermoregulation.
So we've looked at the different layers, but now let's pull it all together and really appreciate the amazing superpowers these layers give us.
This table really breaks it down nicely. As we saw, the epidermis on top is our main shield and protector. The dermis is the strong core, giving our skin its flexibility and controlling our temperature. And then, underneath it all is the subcutis, a layer of fat and tissue that works as our body's insulation and shock absorber. See? Each layer has its own, really important job.
But wait, there's more. The skin's job doesn't stop there. It's also a miniature vitamin factory. When your skin is exposed to sunlight, it starts producing vitamin D, which is an absolutely essential nutrient for strong, healthy bones. It's a superpower that benefits your entire body.
Now, to really understand the sheer scale of this amazing organ, let's look at some numbers that are just going to blow your mind.
Look at this number, 19 million. What do you think that represents? Well, that's the approximate number of skin cells packed into a single square inch of your skin. Isn't that incredible?
And in that very same small patch of skin, you'll also find around 1,000 nerve endings. This is exactly why our sense of touch is so incredibly detailed and sensitive.
And you can add to that about 650 sweat glands, all packed into that same square inch, just ready to cool you down at a moment's notice.
Of course, not all skin is the same. The skin on your eyelids is as thin as paper, just 0.2 millimeters. But then you look at the soles of your feet, and the skin there is 7 times thicker, built tough to withstand a whole lifetime of walking.
And that brings us to a final thought for today. We've learned that our skin is in this constant state of regeneration, completely replacing itself about every 30 days. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? From a purely cellular point of view, are you really the same person you were just 1 year ago? It's something interesting to think about.
So, the next time you look in the mirror, take a moment to appreciate the incredible, dynamic, constantly changing supersuit you wear every single day. If you found this explainer from Cognito Key helpful, please do give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into fascinating topics. Thanks so much for watching.